All right, welcome everybody. Matt Versteeg here, Technology Director for BounceHouseBasics.com, and I'm with our founder, Corey Mango. Corey, how are you?
Hey Matt, how you doing? Hey everybody, how you doing today? I hope everybody's well.
Great. So glad you're with us, Corey. We've had a lot of questions come in about money, how to get the money you need to start your bounce house business. So we're doing a whole training. Everybody's requested it, and they're very excited to be watching this. So I've got a lot of questions for you, but first I want to just kind of summarize what's been happening in the group and some of the emails that we've been receiving. We're getting a lot of questions from people that are saying like, hey, I have bad credit, or I've talked to a local bank and they won't give me money. I've maybe saved some money, but it's not enough to start my business. And people just really know that without the money in order to start their business, they're dead in the water. I mean, they cannot start until they have the money that they need. So we've got a lot of questions here that have come in. So Corey, are you ready to jump in? Can I start asking you?
I'm ready to answer as many questions as I can about that, magical 5-letter word called money that everybody needs. There's an old saying someone taught me: love makes the world go round, but money greases the wheel. I heard that 25 years ago and never forgot that, Matt. And it's a very true statement.
That's so true.
We all want to love, but we all need money. So.
Right. You need money to live the life that you want. So, well, let's jump into the first question here.
Let's go.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. The first question, a lot of people have messaged in is, they say, hey, I've talked to a local bank. They won't give me a loan. Usually it's because they're saying I've got to start a business and the bank just says, sorry, we don't loan to new businesses. Right. So what do they do in this case?
Well, sometimes there are options. However, at Bounce House Basics, we believe we found a very viable option. A special lender that understands startup businesses and certain credit situations, and what people encounter in their lives, and they can custom fit a financing program for you.
Right. I think, Corey, am I right in saying that a lot of times the reason banks won't loan to people is just because they only do like just certain kinds of loans. Like, right. They want to keep it really like they just want to
fit into their model. They love to use that word model. It doesn't fit into our customer profile model, so you get rejected. So what happens is you have to find a more flexible lender like we have, and they understand the startup business and the special credits, and that's what we're going to try to do. And
that's great. I think a little bit later too, we're going to actually walk people through exactly how to apply with this lender that you vetted and that you've approved. I know you've got several trainees that have actually gotten money from this lender and have now started their bounce house business. So this is a proven lender. It's not just somebody you found. They've actually given money to real startup bounce house businesses that are being trained by you. So I think that's pretty exciting.
It is very exciting. And I know we have a long list of people that are waiting for this video, and we're going to make it happen. So
okay, that's fantastic. Let's go to the next question then. A lot of people just have flat out said, my credit's terrible, right? My credit sucks. How do I get the money to start my business? My credit's not good.
Well, that comes back to what I just mentioned, a flexible lender, versatile lender. We have a lender, and they've been doing this for, I think, 30 plus years. And they understand people that have challenging credit reports. And I'll tell you, Matt, something that a lot of people don't know is a simple way around a credit problem is to just put a cosigner with decent credit on your paperwork. This way you'll be able to get into the business and start making the money. And it happens. Like I said, 20 years ago, my credit was terrible. I borrowed, and I had to use my wife's credit to start my indoor facility. So, you do what you have to do. You want to be successful, you want to work, you want to make money, you make things happen. That's what happens.
Right. Do it. No, that's a great point, Corey, because the last thing people want to do is, let's say pretend 5 years from now, they're looking back into the past and going, oh my gosh, if I'd have actually gotten started I'd be making so much more money right now. And you don't want to have that regret of going, I wish I would have, right? Because right now there's people in your town renting bounce houses, making money, right?
Yes,
They got started. So if 5 years from now you're looking back and you never got started, guess what? Those businesses are even bigger. They're making even more money. And it's money that you could have gotten, but you didn't because you didn't take the steps. So the flip side of that is you look back and you go, wow, I'm so glad I did start and I did get my money that I needed in order to do this business, because then, your life is totally different. I mean, right? Think about you, right? If you'd never got started in the bounce house business, if I'd never got started, we wouldn't be where we're at today. You wouldn't be financially comfortable, really, really well off if you never got started. So you
have to take the risk. You have to take the risk. And the interesting part about what we're doing and our team and me is that we're staying involved with our trainees and customers, and we want them to succeed, and we want them to do good. That's why we're helping them, with an automated system and finding customers. And that's for another video, which we're sending out soon. But we're doing it all. We want to be partners with you, not legally, right, but we want to help you.
Right. It's their business, but Bounce House Basics has got a lot of neat offerings in order to help them succeed. And Bounce House Basics only ends up making real money once they're actually out there making real money. And I think that's the big difference, which we'll talk about in another training. But
sure.
Let's jump to the next one here, which is some people have, they've said, okay, I've missed payments, or I've got, some late payments or charge-offs, things like that. Can I still apply, or will the lender just, reject me?
Well, let me answer this question emphatically. You should always apply, because I have the solution if they reject you. I have the solution if they reject you. So you always should reply, because you never know. You might get approved. And the next thing is, I'll go back to my previous statement, is if you find a cosigner, a relative, a friend, to jump on this side, the payments with you, you go right through. So that's
right. Yeah. But they should just try anyway, right? Because in some cases, they may just, the lender may just, have to work with certain terms or a certain rate or whatever. They might be able to get approved on their own, even if their credit's not that great. And then worst case scenario, hey, maybe they do need a cosigner, but they're not going to know unless they try for it. I know we've had several people who said gotten approved and they didn't need a cosigner. So
I was talking to Jason at our lending company, and this morning, and he said, Corey, there's a lot of things that go into a credit decision. It's not just your score, it's your credit availability, what you're late. So it's a whole combination of before they just don't look at your score and say no or yes. It's got to be everything's looked at nowadays, because people just don't give money away.
Right. But that may help some people that maybe their score is not that great, right? But they've got recently perhaps a better history, or they do have a better credit. It's just not the best. So
that's why you should always apply. That's why you should always apply, because people say, "Oh, my credit score's terrible." It's not just your credit score. Maybe you make all your payments. It's let the bank make the decision, because
don't discount yourself out. You never know. They might look at something different than you are, right?
Right.
That's a great point. It's a great point. Okay. Well, let's jump down to the next question, which is, what happens if my credit's declined? Okay.
Right. This is the answer I was waiting to tell you. And I didn't even
tells me there must be something else. It's not the end of the world, I guess, if they do get declined, right?
If they get declined, I'm going to let everybody get a piece of paper and a pencil and get ready to write this down.
Okay.
If you get declined, ask the bank for a letter or a document of the reasons why you were declined. Because I'm arranging, it's in the beginning negotiations, I'm arranging with a credit repair service So if let's say your credit score is 500 and has to be 600, the bank tells you it's your credit score. It was 500 and it has to be 600. I enter an agreement with the customers and say, listen, get me that document and then I can get your credit repaired. So when you reapply, all your levels of your credit history report are where they need to be to get approved.
That's really smart.
This is
fix the credit. The credit's not good. Fix the credit up, and then go back and reapply, and then they get approved because the credit's where it needs to be.
Right now, it has to be within reason. You have a 400 credit score and you need a 650. I mean,
right. It's not going to happen overnight.
It's not going to happen.
But
but we'll look at every potential case. And I will tell you there will be a fee for that. This is not a free service that I'm offering.
Sure, because that's gonna help more than just their bounce house business, right? That could potentially,
cars,
their financial life.
Yeah, no, this guy is
lower their other payments.
I'm gonna bring him on a Zoom meeting. I'm gonna bring him on a meeting in the next week or so. But this guy is the real deal. I know him for 12 years, so
that's exciting. I think people are gonna really like that, especially just. Even if their credit's okay, I mean, if they can have better credit, it helps them in all areas. So it's
yeah, but you got to get that document from the bank of why you were rejected. If you don't get that document from the bank of why you got rejected, you'll never know. You'll never know. Yeah. Need your report card. Listen, a credit report is your report card for life. Everybody gets a report card from kindergarten through college. If you go to college, I didn't go to college, but your credit score is your report card for life, and you want to keep A's on it. And I haven't done it either, so I can tell you I'm perfect. But I'm just saying, if I could give anybody advice, your credit score is important. That's my point.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then when opportunity presents itself, then they can take advantage of it. So
exactly.
Got a great business or a great idea, something that needs funding, it's like they can jump on it. So, that's huge. A big question in their mind is like, I want to make sure they're getting a good deal, right? Like, I don't want to be like overpaying for this. So can you negotiate the pricing with this lender? I mean, how do you know you're getting the best deal?
When the lender approves you, they said, they tell you the amount you're approved for and the number of payments you have to make. Now, of course, the longer the lease term, the lower the amount. So I don't think you're going to be able to negotiate the amount of your total payments. However, you can negotiate the lease term. Like, you may want to make it a little bit longer of a lease term.
Which would help because then they would have a lower payment, right? So it'd be less at each month.
That's right. Less out of their pocket every month, which is key in starting a business.
Great.
That's what we want to do there.
Okay. Wonderful. So if somebody gets approved, like what are the total lease payments and costs going to be for them?
That'll vary from person to person, depending on your credit and how big of a startup package you're going to buy from us. If you only get started in a smaller way, that's okay. Use the profits from your business to grow it more. But again, this depends on your credit and how big you're starting it. I offer 10 different packages of inflatables.
Sure.
That's. And
I think the key for people probably to understand, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, but it seems to me like getting started, even if it's a small way, is great. I mean, I know I started with 5 inflatables, but there's people who start with more, there's people who start with less. So it's like, if you just get in the game, that's the bigger thing, right? Because once you start getting the rentals coming in, then you actually start getting profit, and that gives you money that you can then use to buy more inflatables or, pay off your loan or do whatever. So I feel like just getting in the game is, at least for me, that was just really important.
20 years ago, I started with 3 inflatables, and there were no automated systems. There was no internet. I was just walking door to door looking for deals, and I made a living at it. And anybody can make a living at this business. It's just you have to be able to work hard and,
Well, and having the right, having the right team and the systems behind you too, because like I know neither you nor me had those things. I mean, now just like, what's available. I mean, even what Bounce House Basics does for people and actually getting them the bookings, that's like the toughest part for people is getting the bookings and then, keeping that all organized, right? Setting up inflatables is pretty fun, really. You just roll it out and hook the blower up. It's a lot of fun. But you don't get to do that unless you have the bookings.
Do you want to get up and check your website every morning for business, or do you want to get in your car and drive to every preschool, which you have to do anyway for extra business? But, how else are they going to know about you? Advertise in the newspaper? That doesn't work anymore. It's all on the internet.
No. People put their kids to bed and they're on their computer figuring out what they're going to do for the kids' party in 3 weeks. And it's like they're Googling finding bounce houses in an area. And, well, if you're at the top, then you're going to get the business. They go right on your website and pay you right there. Or if you're not there, they're going to pay somebody else. So people want convenience. I mean, they just, don't have time in today's day and age to sit around. So, okay, well, that's great. Another question people ask is how much money they need to start. So,
well, we're going to walk through the application right now and show you what to start with. I'm going to go through the entire process, field by field, of what to fill in. This way, people can understand it. And we're going to make it real simple for everybody.
Okay. Do you want to do that right now? Should I open up the application? I know I've got a link for that.
Let's open up the application. Sure.
Okay. That's great. So let me go over to the application here. Everybody, what you're going to do is just go to bouncehousebasics.com/money. Okay. And you can follow alongside me as I fill this out. Corey's going to walk us through exactly how to do it. So bouncehousebasics.com/money. Okay. And then you're just going to see this text here. It says, click here to apply now. You're just going to click that. And then it takes you right over to the application. Okay, Corey, looking at this, looks like a lot of stuff here. Do we need to fill this whole thing out, or you're going to just show us what's important that we need to fill out?
No, you don't have to fill it all out. You don't. Okay. Okay, but let's face it. People. It's a business lender. So the first thing is you don't have to have an established business to apply here.
Okay, that's good.
That's the first thing. So let's go.
Yeah, because looking at this here, it says like business name and credit and all that. Well,
right.
I know when I started, I didn't have a business credit. I didn't even know the name that I wanted yet. So.
Right. So in the business name,
okay,
you could put, Corey Mango Rentals. Because
okay.
If you don't have a business yet, just put Corey Mango Rentals.
Sure.
That's what you would put. A DBA name means doing business as. You don't have to worry about that. I can explain that to you on a phone call, but you don't need to.
So we can skip that. Okay.
Skip that.
What do I put for business type?
Let's see what the options are. Okay, so most people are going to be an LLC. You're going to want to form an LLC, but sometimes it's sole proprietorship. So,
but this doesn't commit them to anything anyway, so they can pick either one, right?
Right. So
just pick your favorite.
Time in business is 0.
Right, because we're new.
Okay. Business credit.
We don't have any credit yet, right?
No business credit yet. But if you know you have excellent personal credit, put excellent in there.
Okay.
Okay. Your business address, if you go over to the other screen, is going to be same as owner one information address.
Oh, right here. Okay.
You're going to work out of your house. So,
okay.
123 Penny.
Okay. Yeah. So we just put something in here, whatever our city is, right?
Right.
Okay. We'll just pick an address, right?
Yeah. Your business phone number is your cell number.
Okay.
If you have a fax,
put a number in here, right? I'm just putting a dummy number in, for example, but you put the number in. What? I don't even have a fax number. We don't need to put this in, right?
No, I don't put it in. Okay.
And most people wouldn't have a website or they're not going to have any of this stuff yet.
Well,
So
they're doing business with us. We're going to build a website for them. So right?
Yeah, so they wouldn't have that yet until we set that up. So,
let me talk a minute about the federal tax ID number. So when you set up an LLC or sole proprietorship, the IRS gives you you have to apply for a federal tax ID number or an EIN, an employee identification number. But you're not going to have, unless you have an existing business, you're not going to have an EIN at this point. So just leave it blank.
Right. Got it.
Okay. Now we go up through equipment costs. Up top there. Okay.
Yeah. So what do we put here?
We've said that, we figured that with a basic package and some other equipment, I would put in there $4,000.
Yeah, which is actually pretty low to get started. So that's good, right? That's somebody that can just get started and could always do something more if they wanted, but that's a good baseline just to put in.
Ship to address, same as business address.
Okay.
Same as ship to address. Equipment description, bounce houses, and accessories.
Sure.
And related accessories, something like that.
Okay.
Now,
sure.
This owner information is very important because this is how they're going to score you. So this has to be all accurate.
Okay. So the first few things are pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to put your name again.
Right.
You didn't have to put your name yet. So you just put your name in. What about a title? What do we?
Okay. Well, a title is you could just put
like owner or something.
Owner.
Okay.
Or if you're a partner with somebody, you put partner.
Okay. So if you're doing this with your husband or wife or something, you could just put partner in.
Right.
Got it.
So ownership. So you put together the ownership. So if it's 50-50, you put 50% ownership. If you own it 100%, you put 100%.
Right. So we'll just put that, but it looks like, you could always add another person to this and then you would be like 50-50 and then you would put their information in too.
Now, you put your social security number in here. This is It's a very secure site, so don't worry about it. It's all encrypted, so with security.
Okay, so they'll just put their social security here. And then what about the address? This is their...
That's the same as their business address.
Same address here. Okay, right. So we could just
paste that.
Paste that in there. Okay.
And then if they have two cell phone numbers or two numbers, you put the numbers in there. If not, you put the same telephone number in both fields.
Okay.
239 or whatever number you want.
Yeah, just putting just an example number, but you put your real number in here, obviously, right?
Right, and you put the same number in there for both things, right? And then of course you put an email that you check every day.
Right.
Some people don't check their emails every day, and this is an important thing. Okay, and then you hit the click here, the green button.
This green button, right?
Right, you click it. Okay, and now we're not going to do this because they're going to say, "Oh, it's another,"
Right, we're not going to just send over a fake application, but we'd put the social in here. We'd make sure we had all these other things filled out. Then we would just hit this button, right?
Yep, submit application.
Okay.
That's it. This is very simple form.
That didn't take that long. Actually, it looked scarier at the start with all those boxes to fill out.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, if you think the most important things are your name, your address, valid phone numbers, your social security number, the equipment costs. Now, if you have great credit and you're going for a bigger package like $8,000 or $9,000, put in what you want, and they'll approve you for what they approve you for.
Right.
Always new equipment. Nothing we sell is used. So, I mean, this is a pretty simple thing. And the most important thing is your social security number. And then when you hit submit, in 24 hours, they'll let you know if you've been approved. 24 hours.
That's pretty quick. Yeah, that's exciting. So let me ask you this then. So what happens for people? They go ahead, they just walk through this with me and you, they fill this out, they hear something within 24 hours from it's Quick Spark, right? Is the the lender.
Quick Spark Financial, correct.
I know they've, loaned to many of the trainees before, and they're fantastic. So you stand by them 100%. So Quick Spark then does what? They call them? Do they email them? What do they do once you send this in?
Well, I get an update on the application, and they usually get a call from, my rep is named Jason Moore, and Jason will probably call.
Or somebody like on his team, right? I think I talked to Casey or something.
And they'll let them know, and then they'll provide them, what they've been approved for, and then at that point in time, I need to have a conversation with the trainee and talk about the inflatables and the final price and what's included, and then the bank, Quick Spark, provides the financing documents, and then once the deal, I get 50%. I order the inflatables from my U.S. warehouse or my China warehouse, give them a set date. We start building out the Bounce House Basic automation system, get them their logo, their business cards, and it's all.
They can even be booking rentals before they, in some cases, even have their equipment, right? I mean,
the whole thing
they're quick.
The whole thing is to get them their business cards as fast as possible to get out to all the preschools and all the churches and all the places around them and let them know, hey, listen, I'm coming into business. I'm going to be around. I have a lot of inflatables. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, I think we were talking about before this call that we want to do another call like this showing the automation system online.
Yeah, a lot of people are, we get questions about that every week, people wanting like a demo or like a walkthrough of how that works, like where, when they actually have our website up and then they get bookings, like what does that look like? How does how do the payments come in? How do they see that? How do they, check their rentals and see what's going out this weekend or next weekend, add up how much they made. They want to be able to see what inventory they have and managing all that. So yeah, we'll do another walkthrough of that.
What people aren't understanding is that we are transforming a niche business to total automation and helping customers be successful in the business. I mean, we have financing, I have insurance contacts. I'm constantly trying to build my database of.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Corey, but I think you're the only person out there. I mean, that's why I got to know you, is because I think you're the only person out there that actually is like holding people by the hand to do this whole business. Like if they were to just go out and get inflatables from somewhere, those people are just going to sell them the inflatables, but they're like totally on their own. Like those other companies are not going to help them get bookings. They're not going to help them get, automated marketing going to their clients to get them to rebook year after year after year, and all the other stuff that you help people with.
Right.
So I'm just saying that because I think that's really cool. Like nobody else is offering anything like that at all in the inflatable industry. It's just not happening.
Well, one of my very early webinars, there was, I talked to an insurance guy, and he said a lot of people cancel their insurance because they can't get enough bookings to keep themselves in business. And we have to make sure that during the busy seasons, everybody's scaled at the proper levels so we can get as many bookings as possible so they make enough money. So in the slower times, during the winter, they can still live off the money.
Right. Well, I think that's what separates out what, you're doing with Bounce House Basics from anybody else that just wants to like sell people a website or sell people inflatables or sell them whatever, is that you're actually deferring the money that, you don't get your profit. Like you're not going to really make anything at all until they've actually got rentals and have been, successful with this, which I think is really pretty cool. It's cool that you're in a position to be able to say, hey, you know what, like I'm only gonna make money and do well with this if you're making money. Whereas everybody else is just like, hey, give me all your money right now, and then like once you've paid them, they pretty much like don't care unless you like show up to like buy more stuff from them. Like they've got their money. Like there's no reason for them to sit there and continue to hold you by the hand and answer all your questions and work with you every week, versus you're putting all this energy in to help them because you're betting on the long term. Like you want people in the bounce house business for years and years and years and years. And over the long haul, those little bits will all add up to something bigger. But everybody else just wants to like, hey, make a quick payday and then they're out. So I applaud you for that, man, because I think that's cool. Like nobody else is willing to do that. I mean, that's why, that's obviously what I'm working with.
It comes back when you give. Yes, I know how difficult it was, 20 years ago. And, I wish I had somebody, I was fortunate enough to have a couple of family members when I made the jump from outdoor rentals to the indoor business, provide me with some money, which I paid every dime back. And, I was fortunate to have that, and I appreciate that. And it's, it's good to help people out. It's a win-win situation, because if I keep getting your rentals, and we recently made some changes where, it's even more profitable for our trainees. So, you really got to get on the phone and talk to me and let us, or Jim Brown, and let us explain to you the program. I mean, Jim's another teammate of mine. I've known Jim for 30 years, and we share a desk. Jim's in direct sales, and we were working in a niche together 30 years ago, and now we're in another niche. And
you guys got a good relationship together, but you're having a lot more fun now. That's for sure.
That's for sure. No,
versus just trying to like sell things. It's so much nicer to be in a business because I came from other businesses too before this stuff, and it's like, if you're slogging through a job that you don't like and you're really not looking forward to Mondays, you're in the wrong business, because if you get up in the morning and you're like, hey, this is really cool, like I get to make people's day, I get to make money, and like I get to work from home, I don't have to like go out somewhere or like go to answer to some boss or go sit at some desk or some warehouse or whatever it is you're doing. It's like, life is too short to do something you don't want to do. So if you're not in that position yet, start working towards it. This is like the best way to get started. Let somebody else put their money up for you, and let Corey and his resources go to bat for you, and basically put up their money too, because your website, your whole system, all the resources, the team, you're not shelling out a whole bunch of money for that stuff. Like Corey is willing to basically finance you on that, right? He's willing to put all those resources for you into play, and then only after you're, really making any real money, are you, helping to, pay that back. So it's a pretty awesome, and they own their own business the whole time. It's not like you own their business. So, I mean, it's they still get that freedom and that ownership, and it's just a really, really cool setup. So that's all the questions that we had, Corey. So unless you've got anything else, I know people are filling out their application, and then they're going to hear from QuickSpark, and then they're going to hear from you. And I just want to say that seeing you in action on this so far, I can tell that you just will hold people by the hand and help them through it. I know there was a new trainee that you even helped her to make sure that she was extending those payments out as long as she could, and she didn't even realize that. So like there's just things that you're doing in order to you're treating people's situations as exactly as they were your own, and because you've been there, you've done it. And I just think that's really cool. So once people apply and hear from QuickSpark, they're also going to hear from you, and you're going to like hold them by the hand before they ever agree to any kind of a financing arrangement, to make sure that they're getting the best possible setup, and that they have everything in order that they need. I mean, I know you've even helped people form their business and do anything that they needed in order to get them up and running. So it's pretty cool.
My last shout out, or my last point, is I come from an old school of sales and customer service. So my phone is always open to customers 7 days a week, at any time. If I can't get to the phone, leave me a message, and myself or Jim will call you back. Matt is pretty much takes care. He's a director of technology, helps me with the training. But I'm on the front lines. It's Corey at bouncehousebasics.com or Jim at bouncehousebasics.com. And, my phone number is 877-516-5867. Call me on the office. Some people have my personal cell number. My personal cell number is 239-777-1302. Pick up the phone, call me. There are no stupid questions in business.
I think it's amazing that you actually give out your cell phone number on a public webinar. It just shows that you care about people. So I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you. I do care. I'm here to help, and I want you to be successful.
Awesome. Corey, thanks. I know everybody. I'm excited to get this out for everybody because I know they've been asking for it and they're pumped. And they're just excited to take the next step. So thanks for taking all your time here today to do this. And I know we'll do more trainings like this because everybody just really enjoys them. So thanks so much for being here, everybody.
Matt, thanks.
Appreciate
for technology for me. I'm not the best with technology, so thanks for making.
Hey, you know this business better than anybody else, and you're taking care of people. And so me and the rest of the team are happy to stand behind you and do that because of what you're doing for people. So more than happy to do it.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. We'll be talking to you.
Okay. Thanks, Corey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.